Dykes here, and welcome to Gear Fest, and it's all things orange today, as you can see. And this is one of my old DDSM Taylor guitars, Doyle Dykes models, and I was the first guy to get them to do an orange guitar. Also, G&L, I was the first guy to ask for an orange guitar with them. Of course, we all got it from Chet Atkins, you know, and of course, Gretsch guitars. And I'll be talking about Chet Atkins, a little bit of Merle Travis, because everything is about the right hand techniques today. So we're going to be talking about right hand techniques. And the song I was just playing, Jazz in the Box, a little tune I wrote years ago. Now I mute the bass strings. In fact, the first three strings here, the 6th, 5th, and 4th, with the palm of my hand, and then the first three, those three, E, B, and G strings are open, or they're untouched. You can practice that way if you want to. That's why fingerstyle guitar players are so different. You know, you have guys that are more classically oriented and they play more with their hand up. I play with mine down because I mute the strings so much. And Jazz in the Box, I actually do a little double whammy on the bass. And then at the same time, I'm going back and forth from muting and then pulling off of it, sort of like a piano does on a pedal. It's like pedaling on the mute pedal on the piano. You're dampening the strings, in other words. And same thing with Chet Atkins. Now just lift it off of it. Because that way the melody strings on the first three strings are louder and more clear. Otherwise, now there's certain songs that really call for that, like more folky sounds. Now, if you muted your bass on that, it would sound. Sounds kind of cool, but it's not right. You know, it doesn't feel right. And so you're pedaling with this part of your hand, and also on the Travis. Just lifted it up, went back to muting, you know, and so it's like you're playing backup with yourself, and a lot of the dynamics, if you didn't do that, would sound. And it's okay, but just sort of runs together. That it separates it like two different instruments. So this is all about right hand dynamics, guys, and in fact we're going to be talking about frailing, drum rolls, some piano rolls type runs, and also chromatic banjo type things. So it's all about right hand techniques from orange amplifiers. guys, and what you're doing is you're coming down on your backbeat. You want an in-your-face type feel on the song. Like this is called Guitar 2000, song I wrote years ago, and it even has the two-hand harmonic on the beginning. We'll talk about that perhaps with another guitar. But what I'd like to show you is on the frailing type thing. There's another song I wrote that's a good example. It's tuned in G, and so you have a G and a D, and go. So that's that same type thing. It's a frailing thing. I used to work with a guy named Grandpa Jones that used to be on the Hee Haw show, and he would have this frailing thing going. He would be flying. It was kind of like a Jerry Reed thing, and Jerry Reed is more of a frailing type thing on the guitar too. That thing that he does, and so he's just picking it like this. But what we're if you did it like that. And so you're doing your downbeat over your thumb, and then your backbeat, you're coming down with. I usually just use these three fingers, you know. Otherwise. Backbeat or you know, with the thumb, but instead I want more punch, so I'm doing it on my fingers. And I got that. I wrote that song. It's called Heat, and I was riding down the road. My little boy was with me in the car, and he's in his 30s now, and he's a big boy. Now he's bigger than I am, but then he was only 4 years old, and he looked up and he said, "Dad, does God make hurricanes, earthquakes, and tomatoes?" And I said, "Well, I think you mean tornadoes." He said, "You know what I mean, Dad." And so I wrote this song, Hurricanes, Earthquakes, and Tomatoes. And I actually just abbreviated it and called it Heat. And it became the title song of a record I did, Heat, an album. And it kind of came from this song. Because you want a in-your-face type thing. So experiment around that on your music and using your fingers to go down for that backbeat. It's a lot of fun. Hi guys, these are piano-esque type rolls that Chet Atkins used to do, and I got it from him. And so you're doing first string, second, third, and then first again. And I'm using middle and then index, thumb, and then ring. Middle, index, thumb, ring. So like that, this. Is it? I usually start off with a bass of some kind. But Chet would also use that on faster songs like this. So he'd go all the way down, then he would do which is just 4, 3, 2, 1. And so that's the sort of a piano-esque type thing I was talking about. Now these are harmonics that you use with your left and right hand. Of course, your left hand is doing the harmonic on your 12th fret and your 7th fret and your 5th fret. And if you add your bass, you could do this. On Jazz in the Box, a little song I wrote, I would do it like this. Mute the bass. And then you sort of come up from that mute and do a lick there. Change your bass to an A. I don't know how that works, but it does. That all comes from the right hand there. Of course, your harmonic is coming from your left, but you just keep the third finger slightly in front here on this. You don't do it like this individually. You just slide it down, and you keep this one on the 4th string, this one on the 5th, and slide. And on your right hand, it's 4, 5, 3, 4, 2, 3, and then 4, 3, 5, 4. So and so that's another way to do coloration with your right hand and left hand together. Now the way you do harmonics with just the right hand, you would pick your 4th string like this with your ring finger, and then do a harmonic here on your 6th string on the 12th fret, and then go to your 3rd string, and then harmonic on your 5th, 2nd string, 4th, 1st string, and then 3rd string would be a harmonic, sorry. And then come down. So 4, 6, 3, 5, 2, 4, 1, 3, 1, 4. You skip down to the 4, and then 2, 5, 3, 6, 4. Now, how would you apply that? Chord or go all the way down. Just do 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4. That's the 9th actually. You can come all the way down, then do a minor, be like a minor 7th with a 6th string, and you just add that 2, and then another diminish. And sometimes, if you really want to get cool, you can, this is all right hand stuff, guys. You do a harmonic and then a roll, and then a harmonic. That's what you do when you can't afford a harp player. And that way I'm just picking those two. And so there are a lot of things you can do to color a particular, you know, like an arrangement of a song, and just make something interesting out of a real simple song and make it more interesting. And that's what the right hand is really doing here. all things orange, of course, but I have been playing some interesting guitars. I have my Taylor DDSM. I'm looking at it right now, the orange guitar, and then the Doyle Dykes model Guild that I worked with Ren Ferguson and with several years ago, and then also my multi-act that I worked with Robert Godin and also Lloyd Baggs. So I've had my hands in the music business, so to say, pardon the pun, for a long time. And it's really refreshing to be able to just kind of play some of these guitars and represent a great amplifier company. And Orange Amps is the amplifier company that I've been working with now for the last year and a half or so. And Cliff Cooper started the company in London, England in 1968. They're great folks to work with. I love England. I love the UK. My two favorite places when I travel, and for some reason, and there's nothing against any other part of the country, but I love going to Texas and I love going to the UK. And that's just the way it's been for years, and I just feel very much at home there. And so these guys have been great. But it started off with a Crush acoustic amp, and now I have the Trim Lord 30, and I also have the Crush Pro behind me here. And then I have another setup just like this one, and one of them I keep in here all the time, and the other pair I take it out on the road with me. I like a tube amp mixed with an acoustic amp because they work really, really well together. And the Trim Lord 30 is all tube. It has a great vibrato or tremolo on it. It's wonderful. And of course, the little Crush acoustic is just a dynamic little amplifier. It's just dynamite. I had nothing to do with this guitar except just to get it and to buy it. This came from Paul Reed Smith. It's a private stock. And so it's, for me, once again, it's all about right hand dynamics and coloration. So much of what I do is because of that. And so I can't stress enough to, when you're doing a song like this, just to back off rather on the accompaniment part, and let the lead singer be in front. And if a piano player and a vocalist were working together, and the piano player was louder or as loud as the vocalist, it wouldn't be very interesting, and it'd get on your nerves. And it's the same way when you're playing guitar, because you are the vocalist, because you're carrying the melody line and you're carrying the accompaniment as well. And then there are times when you want to get loud, and one of the ways to do that is with the drum roll technique. And I asked a drummer one time at a music store, showed me a double roll. And it's very simple, down, down, up, up on the guitar, but it's da 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 da, and they get it going fast. So it's like this. Down, and I use my index and my middle finger. Down, down, up, up, and I usually do an octave and mute the fifth string. And then if I want to do a chord, I'll do 3. And when you're going fast, it just sort of fans. And then I also like to emulate a timpani. And then when you're doing that, when you're hearing a timpanist play, they're like boom, boom, boom. It's all or nothing. And so, so you're just framming the daylights out of it with my right hand here, but I'm guiding the notes with my left hand. So I'm muting what I don't want you to hear. Muting that with my finger here, and the other one with the thumb. And that's what gives dynamics to an arrangement. Special thanks once again to Sweetwater. Thank you for doing GearFest and for allowing me to be a part of this. Also, special thanks to Orange Amps. I talked about the Crush acoustic amp, and the Tremolo, but I didn't tell you about the little, this is my secret weapon here, and they just started selling these at Sweetwater. And this is the new acoustic pedal, and I use this all the time, and it's just fantastic. I love it. Last time I played on the Grand Ole Opry, you don't really get much of you don't really get a sound check. They let me do that sometimes ahead of time because they know that's my voice. But it's more of a just sort of a line check. And I said, "Is that all right, guys?" They said, "Yeah, when you give us a great signal, there's nothing we need to do to it." And so that's a great compliment. And that's because of this little guy here, the new Crush acoustic pedal. And so I want to incorporate a few of the things that I've talked about in this series here.